So I got this from Thomas yesterday, completely unsolicited. I always feel like I need to take a shower after dealing with this dude. I don't even know who this Chris Burton person is. I don't know who this Jesse Davis person is. He's trying to control the narrative. It's interesting who he doesn't bring up. He doesn't want you to think about Craig Sawyer. Craig Sawyer was the last person IssacKappy reached out to. IssacKappy reached out to Craig Sawyer because he was begging for help. He doesn't want you to focus on Gabe Hoffman, the open secret dude. Gabe Hoffman and Craig Sawyer were asking for donations at the exact same time, and it was immediately after what was found at that homeless encampment in Arizona, because there was a lot of weird stuff connected that had a lot to do with child trafficking, and they used it to close it down. Thomas also doesn't want you to focus on Lucien Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, and his after-school daycare. But I've dealt with Doug for years. Doug attacked me for years. He lived 23 miles away from me, unbeknownst to me, for 4 years. And during that time, I was being harassed, and then they ended up taking that protection order out on me in Kent. But every single video that was listed on that protection order had nothing to do with the petitioners at all, but only and solely dealt with Doug Mesner, aka Lucien Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, who was living 23 miles away from me, unbeknownst to me at the time. He doesn't want you to focus on any of those people. I have a feeling that this email, like his little donations that he was making, is going to be used for grandstanding in the end. This dude doesn't do anything on the up and up. And he'll say, I have stepped away from this stuff, but he just sent me an email yesterday with all of the shit. How far could he have stepped away? He's sending me this shit just yesterday. This is the type of shit I have to deal with this dude. I believe that if the Goblin Dowd and Captain Underpants were in town when my best friend dropped over, like they said they were, Thomas is the one who is the ringleader with all of this. They're not controlled opposition. He is ahead of this whole organization thing. And it's they can feed as much bullshit to people as they possibly can. So Thomas only sent this email to me, but I ended up forwarding it to my local sheriff, all of my local police, my local officials in town, and the investigators that I've been keeping abreast with this. And this is what I wrote. And this all needs to be investigated. I don't care if people investigate me. Go ahead, investigate me. But what's different between me and all of them is that they'll tell, oh yeah, investigate David, but don't investigate me. How dare you investigate me? But they're the very people that need to be investigated in order to bring this to an end. And this is the latest example of the stuff that I get that keeps me going. Because Thomas has used Lucien Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, and their argument, Emily Thorne used it against me, she now goes as skills. They're all connected. They want you to think that there's a whole slew of them, and there's not. It's a very tight-knit group that are all involved. And if you just investigate the stuff with IssacKappy, you can pretty much find all of them who are involved along with IssacKappy. That's how it worked with me. That's how I was able to put all this together. But this is the reason why I'm such a threat to them. Because survivors who have gone through a lot of what I went through as a kid, to a big degree, end up feeling validated when they find me and listen to the stuff that I've said. They end up not feeling like they were crazy, because that's their big thing. They tell all of us we're crazy, and yet they'll go out of their way. Lucien Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, and Emily Thorne, and that Amber Volatin person who was also involved, that's where Lori King ended up doing to herself. And everyone knows what happened, because after Lori King, this group went out and bragged about what they did. That's the reason why Lori King's husband perished less than a year later, because they went and bragged. But they don't want survivors to feel validated. That's the reason why Lucien Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, has sent his people to Neil Brick's SMART conference in Connecticut over and over and over, so he can use it to shut survivors down. That's how this has always worked. And if he can't take you down, they'll drive 2 hours to show up at your house, send your husband out to get a loaf of bread, basically kidnap you, drive 2 hours back to your house, and then you help them unalive themselves. That's how this worked. And then when Lori's husband had a problem with it, he found himself unalived. The fact that Ron DeSantis' career is quickly coming to a close, and he is getting ready to release all of the testimony that was involved with the Jeffrey Epstein case, this side has no loyalty to each other, and they eat their own. And Florida is a hotbed for this. Who all lives there? Where was Jeffrey Epstein's main encampment? In Florida. They say that there's no loyalty among thieves. There's even less with child trafficking pedophiles. They will throw each other under the bus to save themselves. Don't be distracted. In my opinion, Thomas needs to be investigated. I have gone through hell with this dude. The fact that he actually thinks he can send me an email trying to blow sunshine up my ass and that's gonna work, it really does make me question how smart this dude is. They're just criminals. They do criminal behavior. They hide in the shadows, just like my sheriff. He is running a drug operation out here, and it is an open secret. Do I think Thomas has been in contact with my sheriff? Yeah. Thomas has made it quite clear. Do I think Captain Underpants has been in contact with my sheriff? Yeah. He did a video showing where my sheriff called him back twice. They're all connected, and they think they have me. But then they always have, and it always has failed. So we'll see what happens. But this group needs to be investigated, and all this activity needs to be brought to a stop. Period.